Every actor aspires to attain realistic, believable character portrayal effortlessly. So, gather your positive work energy and let's plunge into another few minutes of real hard acting work. Today we are looking at character and role. Role and character. Now, many people use it interchangeably, but they are not. Character is one thing, role is another. Even though they are intrinsically linked, they're different in nature, in propensity. For many, character is studying and mastering dialogue and monologue. Yeah, you don't study a line. Oh, are they fine, we'll go. But that's not it. Character is attached to something and it's attached to role. When a screenplay or a story is written, the various elements or various parts, character is one of the elements, are used as literary tools, meaning that they are there to serve a purpose. The character which you as an actor has to portray has a purpose, has a function, dramatic function, literary function, whatever. But they are not there just to decorate the story. They have a function, they have a use, they have a purpose. And that is what you call the role. Your character has a function. The function of your character is the role of your character. Then, what is a character? Actually, a character is a fictional person in a story, or a character is a series of emotions to which a name is given by a writer. Egbe. But actually, this Egbe I'm talking about doesn't exist. It exists in my mind now. And in my mind, he's 37 years old and he's a polygamist and has 5 children and his 3 wives are pregnant. I am sure we know the difference between character and role now. I'll expatiate on the character and role thing when we come to the various steps. First, imperative step is to read, analyze, and master the story. You know, as a storyteller, an actor is supposed to know the story. It could be somebody who's a first timer, they don't actually understand how screenplays work, but they can read the screenplay and understand the story. They're actually starting to gather the raw material. They are gathering the details which they are going to use to feed their role. It is important to feed the role. The role has to be healthy. It has to be fat, thick. Yeah, that's how directors love their roles. The role should contribute to fatten their movie meaning, Yeah. We are saying to ease portrayal of the character you are going to impersonate and to make sure that your role comes across really very well, you have to read, analyze, and master your character in the following steps. I'm going to try to name them and attempt to, kind of explain. If it doesn't work, well, we could always Google, or YouTube stuff about it. First thing, you want to determine after you have read, analyzed, and mastered the story, you want to determine the role of your character. Is your character a protagonist or an antagonist? Is your character a major or a minor or extra character? Is your character dynamic or static, symbolic or a foil? Once you get some of these details, then somehow you start to see the role of your character. And also, you want to know what the contribution, what the dramatic contribution of your character is in the story, because that is part of the role. This just comes to support the fact that your character could be the antagonist, it could be a static character, it could be a foil. You need that information. Next thing which you want to find out after reading, analyzing, and mastering the story is the motivation of your character, the motivations of your character. Like, what defines them as a personality? What makes them, what inspires them to go after what they are after? Yeah. Like, something should prompt you, something should push you to do something. You don't just do something out of nothing. It is not ex nihilo. No. Number 3, the actions and attitudes of your character. Please, I hope you're taking this down as I am naming the actions and attitudes of your character. Pretty much, what do they do, how do they do it, and why? And usually most characters, when they are dynamic, they have inner struggle. Usually that's how writers make it. And if the actor doesn't discover the inner struggle of the character, then they're going to play it very shallow. And shallow is not good. Except the director is insisting, no, I want my character to be played shallow. And I doubt if there's any director that's going to insist that you play their character shallow. Because playing a character shallow is actually being deep in shallowness. Behavior, attitude, and so on is part of character traits. So, fourth step is just find out all the other character traits. Yeah, you just have to know. In other words, character traits combine to form what you call personality. And usually, as an actor, what you want the audience to get is you want to show them the personality of that character, not your personality. So you have to learn the personality of the character. By doing what? List them, and drink them. Tastes really great. Next is the character's relationships. Yeah. You know, every human being exists in a social environment. And social environment, friends, family, enemies. We are talking here about interactions, the character's interactions, how they interact with everybody. Is it friendly? Is it antagonistic? How do they view others? How do others view them? How does the society, how does the society look at them? Are they viewed as threats? Are they viewed as heroes? Either way, check relationships. Also, make sure you understand the development of your character. You need to know when your character starts out, how are they? What is their personality? What is their worldview of things? What are their convictions? What are their perspectives on things? As the story is unfolding, midway, do they change? Do they grow out of who they used to be? And towards the end, are they the same? All of this will help in building a certain kind of fluidity from scene to scene. And then dialogue. I always like to leave dialogue for the last, just because as you continuously go through the script to pick up these other details, somehow, unconsciously, subliminally, your dialogue may stick. Actually, that's my technique. When I read scripts, I don't try to master dialogue. I actually instead try to get those details to build the personality of my character. And dialogue is part of that personality. The way somebody talks, what they say, and how they say it is just part of them. So in the effort, maybe to know the role of my character, the relationships, how the character develops, who they interact with, somehow I'll pick up details about the dialogue and maybe some very important lines, So usually some people say the actor should try to get the writer's intention. Yeah, like you try to discern what the writer probably had in mind when they were writing the character building. So some kind of the writer's purpose for that character in their life. All of these things, if you do a proper analysis of your story, you'll see them. Once story is mastered, you want to focus on your character like no other thing. Once you already know the story well, just go into your character, because everything at that moment works for the edification and the glorification of your character. You go into character, first thing you want to know about your character is the super objective. The super objective is like the objective of objectives. As in, what does your character wants or needs above all else? That's super objective. You determine that because in each scene your character appears in, they will be working to achieve at least, if not all, part of the super objective. Such that now, after you master the super objective, you start mastering the scene objective for your character. So there is an objective for your character in every scene. So when you portray your character, you should be working with the super objective and the scene objective in mind as you progress. That helps you to fluidly, convincingly, and authentically portray your character.